I was ready to marry you, ready to build a life where every sunrise began with your smile, and every sunset ended with your hand in mine. I was ready to promise forever, to stand beside you through every season, every storm, every victory, and every loss. I imagined a home filled with laughter, walls carrying the echoes of our dreams, a future painted with hope, trust, and devotion. I believed in us with all my heart. I trusted every word you spoke, every promise you made, every look that convinced me I was the one you truly loved. I never questioned your intentions, because love had made my doubts disappear. I saw you as my destination, the person I would choose again and again, even when life became difficult, even when the road turned rough. But then I found this, a truth hidden behind beautiful words, a secret buried beneath countless promises, something I never expected, something I never imagined could exist between us. And suddenly, the future I had built in my mind began to shake. The dreams we created together started fading, not because I stopped loving you, but because trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild. I sat alone for hours, reading, thinking, remembering, trying to understand how someone I loved so deeply could hide something so important. The pain was not in what I found. The pain was in realizing that while I was planning forever, you were keeping a part of the truth away from me. I was ready to marry you, ready to give you my loyalty, my heart, my future. But love without honesty becomes fragile, and a future without trust becomes uncertain. Still, a part of me wanted to stay. A part of me wanted to ignore everything, to pretend nothing had happened, to continue chasing the dream we once shared. Because love does not disappear in a single moment. It lingers, it fights, it hopes. Yet some discoveries change everything. They force you to see reality instead of imagination. They teach you that love alone is not enough, that respect, honesty, and trust are just as important. I wish things had been different. I wish the truth had come from you. I wish I had never needed to find it on my own. But life has a way of revealing what is hidden. And when the truth finally appears, you must decide whether to walk forward together or walk away to protect your peace. I was ready to marry you until I found this. Not because I stopped caring, not because the memories vanished, not because the love was fake, but because forever requires honesty. And without honesty, forever becomes a promise that cannot survive. So I stand here now, holding the pieces of the future I once imagined, learning that sometimes the hardest goodbye is the one you never expected to say. And though my heart still remembers your name, my mind now understands a lesson I will never forget. After everything changed, I kept asking myself the same question. Was any of it real? The late night conversations, the promises about our future, the plans we made for a life together, were they genuine? Or were they just beautiful words carried away by the wind? Days passed, yet your memory remained. Every place reminded me of you. Every song seemed to tell our story. Every quiet moment became another battle between my heart and my mind. My heart remembered the person I loved. My mind remembered the truth I found. And somewhere between those two, I found myself lost. I wanted answers, not excuses, not explanations wrapped in more lies. Just the truth. Because when someone breaks your trust, the hardest thing to lose is not the relationship. It is the certainty you once had. I used to be sure about us. I used to believe that no matter what happened, we would find our way back to each other. But now I was standing at a crossroads, looking at a future that suddenly felt unfamiliar. You told me you loved me. Maybe you did. But love is more than words. Love is honesty when the truth is difficult. Love is loyalty when temptation appears. Love is choosing transparency over secrets. And that is what hurt the most. Not the discovery itself, but knowing that you had chances to tell me. You had opportunities to be honest. Yet you stayed silent. The silence spoke louder than any confession ever could. Still, I cannot pretend I hate you. The truth is, a part of me will always care. A part of me will always remember the person I thought you were. But sometimes we fall in love with a version of someone that exists only in our hearts. And when reality finally arrives, we are forced to let go of the dream. So I stopped asking why. I stopped searching for reasons, because no explanation could change what happened. Instead, I began choosing myself. I began rebuilding the peace I had lost. Slowly, I learned that walking away is not weakness. Sometimes it is the strongest decision a person can make. And one day, when I looked in the mirror, I no longer saw someone broken. I saw someone wiser. Someone who learned that trust is priceless. Someone who learned that self-respect matters. Someone who learned that love should never require you to ignore the truth. I was ready to marry you. I was ready to give you forever. But forever cannot survive where honesty is missing. So I leave this chapter behind. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with acceptance. Because some people enter our lives to stay, and some enter our lives to teach us lessons. Perhaps you were both. And as I move forward, I carry one final truth with me. I was ready to marry you, ready to build a home from promises and trust, ready to turn ordinary days into forever, until I found this. Not a letter, not a message, not a secret hidden beneath the shadows of a screen, but a truth, the kind of truth that arrives quietly, without warning, without mercy. It sat between us like a storm cloud, growing heavier with every memory, turning laughter into questions, and questions into silence. I remembered the nights you called me your future, the mornings you painted dreams in my heart, the way your eyes spoke of forever, when your lips couldn't find the words,